Yo, what's going on, guys? It's AjaLuck. And if you didn't know, I uploaded a video about a month ago called, I don't know, it was a box fight tutorial. And it got, I think, like over 60k views, which is insane. So I thought, what better way than to upload another one, but a free-for-all box fight, because I know a lot of people like those too. So before this video starts, give me like 2 seconds. I have a code. It's called AjaLuck. You should... Where the heck is my code? I have a code. It's called AjaLuck. You should probably use it because it helps me, and that's cool. Hashtag ad. Alright, so the first thing you want to do to make your Epic Gamer box fight map is you're going to want to load up a creative. So once you made it to your beautiful creative lobby, you're going to want to go over here, and first off, I already have a code. It's 69 28 41 63 19 73. If you just want to play the map, you don't care about actually making it, you can put that in. But if you do want to make your own, click change island, click create new, go all the way to the bottom to the block, and click confirm. You could title it later, you don't have to do it right now. And yeah, and once you spawn into your the block world, you want to go to the middle and first off change the time. So the first thing I want to do is actually go to my island, go to settings, and change the time of day to 2 p.m. because it looks fine. You could do it something else, but something that has the sun out so it's not super dark. So the first thing you want to do is come to the middle of the block and place a wooden floor. If you don't know where the middle is, it's just like it's in the middle. But if you want to assure it's in the middle, look where the rift is, point in the opposite direction. It should be one tile to the left of that weird dot. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is go into creative, go to galleries, and it's going to be in the second column. Keep scrolling down until you hit this. It's called Mega Mall Gallery. Select that and throw it somewhere where it won't bother you, so just off the block. And you can choose any tile that you want. I'm going to pick this one right here, and you're going to want to bring it to the block, and what you're going to want to do is from this wooden tile extend 2 on each side. So you're just going to want to extend 2 on all sides of the wooden thing like that, so it should look like a little plus, and then just fill in the empty space. When you're filling all this stuff in, by the way, make sure that you're facing the exact same direction for every tile, because if you're not, look, if I switch directions, it looks a little bit weird right there. So make sure you're facing the exact same direction, and yeah, it should look like that. And nope, actually you should probably, there you go. So yeah, replace your piece of wood with the same tile, and you should have a 5 by 5 by 5. You should have a square. And once you have your beautiful square, you're gonna come over here. You can pick any one you want. I'm gonna pick this one right here, and just come over here to the block. And you're just gonna want to put 5 walls on each side, just like this. And once you're done placing these beautiful walls, you're gonna want to do it again, just one more layer. So now your beautiful map should look a little something like this. Next thing you're going to want to do is go back to your creative inventory, go to devices. It's going to be in the second column. It's called player spawn. Pretty sure you guys know what the heck that is. Click it a couple times, like 5 times, I don't know. And so what you're going to want to do is make sure there's a spawn pad in every corner. So go to every corner and place a spawn pad real quick. So once you have these 4 spawn pads, you're basically going to want to make this box fight room basically like checkered in spawn pads. So it should look like this. I mean, I'm not done obviously, but it should look something like this, you know. So none of them should be side by side. Should look exactly like that. Once you have that, we're going to do the settings for the player spawns. So what you're going to want to do for the player spawns is go to customize, go to the second tab over here, enable during phase. You're going to want to change that to gameplay only. Go down over here to use as island start, you want to turn it off, and turn visible during games also off. So these 3 settings, gameplay only, no, and no, you're going to want to put that on all the spawn pads in this room. Also, it should turn red like that. I don't think it matters, but yeah. And there you go, you're done with all the spawn pads. Next thing you're going to want to do is go back into devices and go down to barrier. Should look like this. Equip some of them, you're going to need a couple of them. And basically these empty spots, just place a barrier in every single one of those spots. And there you go. So now you should have every tile filled in with either a spawn pad or a barrier. So now we got to do the barrier settings. The barrier settings are actually kind of easy. They're not that hard. So basically go to customize. And for the barrier style, I prefer using something that's like translucent, which means you can see through it so you know if there's someone right next to you or not. So I like to use the one over here. It's called a blue force field. It looks like this. There you go. It looks like that. It looks kind of cool. And there's only 2 other things that you have to change. The barrier height, change it to 2 so that it's 2 blocks high. And at the very bottom, it should say disable when receiving from. Put down channel 1. You're going to want to do that to all of these barriers. And this should be the last one. And I think I am done. Yeah, there we go. So just double check. Make sure the barrier has a see-through barrier. I chose blue force field. Make sure the barrier height is on 2, and make sure disable when receiving from is on channel 1. Once you're done with that, you can use the same tile that you use for the floor. It doesn't matter. You can use a different one if you want. It doesn't matter on the top, just on the bottom. And I think it looks nice from the bottom, you know. And you're just going to want to fill this up, and then you'll be done with the box fight room. You don't have to do any more in that. So now that you made the box fight room, you're going to want to make a spawn room, which is the room that you're going to spawn before the game starts. So you can come back to the same gallery as you want, and you can do the same floor or a different floor. I'm going gonna do this one right here. But yeah, basically just go anywhere and make a 4x4 room. So the reason why I'm doing 4x4 instead of 3x4 like I did in the other box fight video is because since this is a free-for-all map, we're gonna need more spawn pads, because in a free-for-all box fight, you're probably gonna have more players than like a 2v2 or something like that. And once you're done filling that in, you're gonna want to come over here and grab any wall you want. I'm just gonna choose this wall, it doesn't matter. And then you're gonna want to place 4 walls on each side. You don't have to make it 2 blocks high this time, just make it 1 block high. And once you're done with that, just make a roof. And yeah, so once you made your roof, you're gonna want to come in here, and then you're gonna want to grab some of these spawn pads again. So just spam it a couple times and then place a spawn pad on every single tile. Okay, and once you're done with that, these settings are actually really simple. So now we're just going to do the player spawn settings. So the only setting you're going to need is enable during phase, and you're going to want to put it on pregame only. That's the only setting you're going to need for all of these. And there we go, now you're done with all the spawn pads. Now most would say that this room is finished. And true, it can be finished, but it can be turned 5 times better with a single thing. What is that single thing, you may ask? It's in devices. It's called the Billboard. Ah yes, the secret to making every single one of your maps 5 times better. Adding use code AjaLuck in your spawn room. And so now, once you know what that, you're going to want to go back to your box fight arena thing. And you're going to want to grab something in devices. It's called team settings and inventory. It looks like this. You're only going to need one of them. Just place it, you can place it anywhere you want. I'm going to put it on top just because I like my maps to be compact, even though I did my spawn room way over there. Now the settings for this are actually kind of complicated. I'm just kidding. There's not going to be any settings for this at all. All you're going to need to do is drop the guns and drop the healables. So obviously this is preference. You could use any guns you want. You could do a proximity launcher and a drum gun for all. I don't care. I'm going to use the guns that are most commonly used in these, which is a assault rifle, a blue assault rifle, sorry, and then a purple pump. And then go over to consumables and do your healables. Again, you can do whatever you want. The most common ones are 1 slurp fish and 2 minis. And then you're just going to want to drop them. Make sure when you drop them, make sure like goes in first, and then drop the next one. But yeah, once you're done dropping the fishies and the minis, later on, once we do the settings of the map right here, we're going to turn infinite ammo off so that you don't have infinite slurpfish and infinite minis. So because we're going to have to turn infinite ammo off, we're going to have to give them ammo. So because I gave them an AR and a pump, obviously I'm going to give them a bunch of medium bullets and a bunch of shells. You can give them as much as you want. The point of this isn't to like limit how much ammo they have. It's just to give them ammo so they don't have 0, because obviously we're going to have to turn infinite ammo off. So once you're done with that, the last thing you're going to want to drop is the wood. So just click on wood and drop some. So the amount I'm going to drop is 400. What you could do 300, 500. Just remember the number, okay? I'm going to do 400. So remember how much you drop. Again, I dropped 400. The reason you're going to need to remember that is because there's a setting that we're going to change later on. It's called maximum building resources. It's right here. You're going to want to change that to, I put 400, so I'm going to change it to 400. And once you're done with that, you're done with what is this thing called? Yeah, you're done with the team settings and inventory device. So we're just going to need to add 2 more things. One thing we're going to need is the explosive device. It looks like this. So just click on the explosive device and throw it anywhere you want. Again, I like to have it compact, so I'm going to do it just right on top. And there's going to be a couple settings for these, and they're all very important, so make sure you're paying attention right now. Go to customize, player damage, and structure damage. Make sure they're both on exactly 0, so you don't get hurt and the map doesn't get hurt. So yeah, make sure those are on 0. Over here you find knockback. Make sure that's on off. Once you turn that off, time to detonation from game start. This is probably the most important one. Make sure it's on 5 seconds. Next thing, play audio / VFX. You're going to want to turn that off so you don't hear a giant explosion. Visible during games won't matter because you're not going to see this because you're going to be inside, but for some reason I feel the need to turn it off. Play audio, again, make sure that's off. And lastly, at the very bottom, you're going to find something that says 1 exploded transmit on. Make sure that's on channel 1. So I know you guys don't care how it works, you just care if it works, but I'm going to teach you anyways because I don't know. So basically we have this little device set to explode after 5 seconds once the game starts. And we also have a setting that says when exploded, transmit on channel 1, which means when this thing explodes, but it won't do any damage, but when it explodes, it's going to send a signal to channel 1, and guess what all the barriers have? All the barriers will disable when receiving from channel 1. So once that explodes in 5 seconds, all the barriers will disappear in 5 seconds. I don't know, a lot of people don't really know how like the channels work and stuff, so just in case you didn't know, that was a little tutorial. And lastly, we just need to add one more thing to our map. It's very simple. Alright, so this last part you don't need to do at all. It's not necessary at all, but there's a thing called a HUD message device. It looks like this. So this is if you want to put a message on your screen, like before the game starts, if you want to put like, you have 5 seconds to change your inventory, if you want to put put something even better, like for example, use code AjaLuck, then you can. Again, if you're asking why the heck I'm putting it exactly, I just like my map compact, like really, I don't know. So if you don't know how this works, basically just where it says message, just type anything you want. I'm gonna put use code AjaLuck just like that. And time from round start, which means when is this gonna pop up, I'm gonna do it as low as you can, is 1 second. And then the display time I'm gonna do for 4 seconds, which means that's a grand total of 5 seconds, which means it's gonna be away once the game starts. So it's only gonna be there for 5 seconds, which is the first 5 seconds of the game. And then you could change the message style too. I'm gonna do bold orange. Again, this little device right here is not necessary at all. It's only if you want something to appear on your map. And you're completely done building your map. Everything's done. Now all you need is to do these done settings. I just noticed it's really hard to see. Like for example, see where it says free for all right there? If I go on it, you can like barely see like what it is. So I'm gonna change my colorblind settings just so you guys can see it a little better. So I think this should help. I never play with colorblind settings, but yeah, it looks a little bit better, I guess. So when I say preference before I change the setting, that means that it's not mandatory and you can change it to whatever you want, but it's just what I prefer to do. So voice chat is a preference, but I like to have it on all. Teams is going to be on free for all. Spawn limit is going to be on 1. Total round, a preference, you could do 100. I'm going to do the closest thing I can get to 62.5, which is just 62. If you're wondering why 62 or 62.5, I don't know either. Next thing, the time limit, you're going to want to make sure it's on none. Last standing ends game, make sure that's on. Join in progress, since this is a free-for-all, so it's not like the 2v2. So like before, when it was a 2v2, if someone would join the game, then it would be uneven. It would be a 3v2, which is unfair. But this is a free-for-all, so it doesn't matter. So you can click 1 to the left and it should say spawn on next round. And that's all for the game settings. Now we're going to go to the settings. So the time of day, if you haven't changed it yet, change it to something that has the sun out. I prefer 2 p.m, but you could change it to whatever you want. Starting shields, make sure it's at 100 shields. Infinite resources, we are also going to turn off. And then the maximum building resources, when I told you, remember how much wood you drop, that's the exact same amount that you're going to put for maximum building resources. So I put 400, so I'm going to put the maximum at Jeez, what the heck? So I'm going to put the maximum at 400. Next thing, building can destroy an environment on no, and environmental damage on off. Respawn time, this doesn't matter because you're not going to respawn until next round, but for some reason I have the need to change it to 1 sec. Glider redeploy, I don't think you can fly in there, but I'm going to turn it off anyways. Health grants and elimination, this is a preference. I'm going to put it on 50, so you get 50 HP when you kill someone. And I think that is it. Oh, I don't know why someone would respawn in the map, but allow manual respawning, put it on no. And that's all for the settings. Now you just need UI, which is extremely simple. So these 4 settings right here, not the first one, but this one, this one, this one, and this one, just change it all to 5 seconds. This is a preference. You could do 3 seconds if you want it even shorter, but I think 5 seconds is good. So just change all those to 5 seconds. And then scoreboard win condition right here, go 1 to the left and it should say time alive. And then scoreboard tiebreaker 1, put it on eliminations. This should give the person that was alive the longest, which is obviously the winner, give him the win, and then the tiebreaker, there's not going to be a tie, but just so it shows how many kills you got, I put it on eliminations. And I think that is it. Now you can go to description and name your thing whatever you want. So yeah, just name your map whatever you want. You can add a description if you want to. And guess what? You just made your Epic Gamer map. There's only 9,000 memory. That's a lie. We have a giant gallery right here. Yo, delete all this real quick. We only have 3,366. So yeah, now we just gotta test it to prove to you guys that this map actually functions. So I need to put my thing on public so people could join. Yo.
Yeah.
Can you help me with I just need to like showcase the map to make sure it show it works. I'm doing another tutorial video.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So as you can see, you spawn in the player spawn room, and then once you start the game, and as you can see, it starts in the box fight arena. So you can see where other people are. You can't get out of your box. And yeah. So as you can see, this is a fully functioning box fight map. I'm not too sure if there's gonna be bugs. I know there was a lot of bugs with my last map I made. Oh jeez. And as you can see, it says use code AjaLuck. It pops up on the screen and then it goes away as soon as these barriers go away. Like that. So yeah. But yeah, I know the last box fight map had some glitches. Hopefully this one doesn't. I don't think it should have as many, but if you guys need help, just tell me in the comments. I'll be glad to help. And yeah, you see you spawned some healables, so I can drink my healables. And yeah, that's my map. I hope you guys enjoyed. But yeah, that's the map. I really hope you guys enjoyed. It's been AjaLuck. Also, you should probably like the video and subscribe. Also, I have a code. It's called AjaLuck. You should probably use it because it helps me, and that's cool. Hashtag ad, because I have to say that now. Logan, would you like to say goodbye to the video?
Use code AjaLuck and subscribe.
Wise words. Wise words. Bye. Use code AjaLuck in the item shop.